Hi, and welcome to Real Trail Talk. I am Donovan D'Souza from The Long Ways Better.
And I'm Mark Pybus from The Life of Pi. Welcome to episode 75. We have a special guest in this evening. We have Josh Carr, videographer extraordinaire and hiking enthusiast. Thanks for coming in, Josh.
Thank you. It's very great to be here.
Yeah, we're big fans of your videos, and I think they do a great job in kind of visualizing what some of the great hikes we have in Australia are all about.
Thank you.
So, just want to give us a bit of an introduction on kind of who you are, what you do, and kind of your love for hiking.
So I work out in a little gold mine out in the wheat belt of Western Australia. I've been there for about a little over 4 years now. Just work a standard 8 days on, 6 days off roster. And pretty much on those 6 days off, I try to get out and do as much hiking as I can, especially in the last year or so.
Awesome. And so prior to that, you worked as a professional videographer, is that right?
I wouldn't really call it professional by no means, but I suppose to give you a little bit of a background, I ended up quitting my geology aspirations. I'd finished my degree in about 2013-14 and did a year up north, as everyone does when they get a degree in some mining related field.
Yeah.
So I did about a year's worth of that, and then I realised I actually did not like it at all. So that was a pretty hard pill to swallow, but ended up getting a job back in Western Australia just as like a moderator. So that was a very interesting job. I was also cutting off people's gas supply because they didn't pay their bills. So I definitely met some very interesting people there. But I think it was around that time I almost had like a little mid-20s, early 20s sort of life crisis. I was wondering what the hell I was going to do with my life. And for some unknown reason, I just decided to buy a drone. And that pretty much just spurred just absolute love for videography and photography. And long story short, I started posting some photos and videos around the wheat belt. Some cockies or farmers started reaching out to me, want some photos done. Then eventually that snowballed to actual companies and tourism boards reaching out, wanting some videos done. It just got a little bit too much for me in the end. I'd been doing it for about 6 months straight, just always on my break and all the time after work, doing my 12-hour shift. I'd go back into my donga and then smash on the keyboard for another 3-4 hours doing editing. I think I just got really, really burnt out and didn't enjoy it as much anymore. And so, I just decided to go cold turkey with it and call it quits.
Excellent. But you were getting paid, so professional is the term for it.
Yeah, I suppose you can call it that, yeah.
Kind of a bit of a moot point on this next question, but what made you give that up and then switch over to hiking after you had a bit of a break from the professional stuff? Yeah,
so I knew that I wanted to do something to do with related to filmmaking and going down that path of YouTube, but I didn't really know what aspect I wanted to go down. And after I decided to throw the towel in with the job, the side hobby that I was kind of doing, I kind of just fell into hiking when I was over in Europe, hiking with my partner and her sister. And then a couple of mates came over later on in the trip, we're going through the Austrian Alps, and I just said to myself, man, I've got to do more of this when I get back home. So, that's kind of where my love for hiking really came from.
And was it a bit of a downer going from the Austrian Alps to WA?
Absolutely, Australia's definitely very, very flat compared to over in Europe. So, it had me hooked when I was over there, that's for sure.
Awesome. So how do you balance, I guess, the FIFO life with the hiking and all the videography work that you're doing?
Yeah, it's definitely a juggle, and I'm still trying to work that juggle out, but at the moment I work Friday to Friday, which if anyone works FIFO, they would probably think that as a pretty rubbish roster, and not many people like doing that. But I've actually started to realise it's semi-working okay for me, because I knock off 6 p.m. on Friday. I usually get home, and then I've usually got like Saturday or Sunday somewhat reserved for social activities. And yeah, that usually gives me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to try get out on the trail. But I have been known to get home and then pretty much jump straight on a plane. So I'll spend maybe 2 days out of 3 weeks at home. So yeah, it's definitely a juggling process that I'm still working on.
Yeah. So what's the most hectic you've done? Like going straight from and then back to work? Have you done anything like that?
Yeah. So pretty much get home at about 6 p.m. on a Friday night, and then the Tasmanian direct flights are about 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, so that's when I jump on there, and then fly back home Thursday, usually get back about 9 p.m, and then on Friday I'm on the bus at 5:30 in the morning, so it doesn't leave much time.
Right.
And I take it you're not doing like a desk jockey position out at the goal line.
Well, it's half and half, yeah, so
Okay,
I couldn't do that, yeah.
What's the response been to the change to the hiking videos, and have any particular posts done like a lot better than expected?
Yeah, so when I decided that I was going to go down the hiking path, I knew my current sort of following that I'd built up on the Facebook group. It had about 1,500 followers at the time, and I knew straight off the bat that no one was really going to be interested in it. A lot of the people that had followed that page were all just farmers and stuff out in the wheat belt, so completely different niches, and I wasn't expecting too much, but I did throw a post up there, and I got a few people saying some positive comments, but after that I just really called it quits and didn't think too much more of it. But in terms of popular post, there was one that was actually quite recent. I was hiking the walls of Jerusalem, and ended up taking a little video of a platypus that I saw. So yeah, I threw that up on Instagram and TikTok, and they both got 1 million views on each platform. So
Wow.
yeah, that absolutely blew my mind.
That's awesome.
That is, wow.
Yeah, but I've also had a viral video that was right when I started my drone sort of adventures. And if anyone's versed in the CASA sort of rules, which is the Civil Aviation Safety Authority, and they look after all drones, I knew that it was illegal, but I thought I might be able to get away with it. Bad mistake. But one of the bowling managers wanted me to go down and just take some video of an event that they had down there. And essentially what it was must have been about 50 or 60 people. They just lie on the outskirts of the bowling green, and they chuck the little kitty in the middle of the bowling green. And then on the count of 3, everyone bowls their bowl, and they try to get to the closest to the kitty. Whoever wins gets $200-300. And I had my drone positioned right up on top of where that was, and I didn't realise it at the time, but I looked back on the footage and it looked absolutely unreal. Like the shadows were so pronounced on everyone, it just didn't look real. It looked like an animation or something like that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I threw it up on my Facebook page thinking nothing would be of it, and it went absolutely viral. It was the front page of Reddit, and all these news corps were posting it all on their Facebook pages. And then it was about 24 hours later, I got a phone call from CASA. I have no idea how they got my phone number. But he was really, really nice about it, but just said, we've got a lot of complaints about this, and it's highly illegal.
What's the reason it's illegal?
Well, you're not meant to fly within 30 metres vertically of someone. And obviously I was right on top of about 60 people. So yeah, that was a big no-no. But yeah, he was pretty cool about it, just gave me a slap on the wrist. But that was my first introduction with not what to post on the internet.
Very good.
Yeah. I think there's a few amateur drone users out there that could do with a brushing up of the CASA rules.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, how much work goes into a video? So, I mean, how long is the average video that you do, and how much work goes into that much of footage?
It's a little bit. I would say on an average video, just for the editing portion, it would be minimum 20 hours. So yeah, obviously that varies depending on how long the hike is. If it's longer, it's obviously going to be a shorter edit or longer edit. Sorry, and if it's shorter, it's going to be a little bit shorter. But yeah, it's definitely not a short process, but one that I really enjoy doing. So it doesn't worry me at all how long it takes.
And when you go out and you do the actual hike, I notice sometimes the cameras, set up so you walk past it. So you're kind of walking the trail a few times, I guess, to get that shot.
Yeah. I suppose you could say that, but really, in the big scheme of things, it's not much. So I try to get the really nice scenic shot, and obviously the trail's not always going to be looking absolutely pristine. So yeah, I try to just get the nice shot, and that's it.
Yeah.
I think it was one of your videos, the one out to Helena campsite, where you had a mate with you and he kept poking fun at you. How far you have to set the camera up, go back, do the walk, and then go get the camera.
Yes, yep. And after that, he's funnily enough started to be in the videos because he wanted some footage of him doing the hike as well. So
there you go. No, it's always good having a model. I try and get my mate Aaron in as many as I can.
Yes,
just to get a figure there. Otherwise, I'd have to do it, and no thanks.
Yes. Well, I have to say your guys' modelling career is looking very swell at the moment with feet to hike.
They're really using all those photos.
Actually, someone had a cool joke today. He called us a super model, as in the soup.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite clever. So where do you see vlogging fitting into the information ecosystem for trails compared to the databases like Trails WA or even our websites, and also the audio formats like this podcast?
So yeah, my personal opinion is that video is going to be absolutely huge in the next years to come, and I think we're really starting to see the effects of that. We're right at the tip of the iceberg at the moment. Obviously, you've got TikTok that's absolutely exploded in the last couple of years, and you've got Instagram that are following suit with Reels. You've got Snapchat doing a similar thing, and YouTube have also started YouTube Shorts. So I think the fact that you've got these massive companies all trying to compete for this one sort of space, to me, just indicates how much growth they think there is for that sort of area. So yeah, my personal opinion is that video is the way of the future. I think it's absolutely going to be huge.
I think definitely with the professional style videos like yourself, giving people this is what it's actually like out there. It's kind of, I know it's an easier medium to connect with because you watch a 10-minute video and you know what to expect, whereas sometimes you read our posts or you listen to us and I can kind of connect that photo to where I'm going, but having a lot of photos together in the video format kind of helps.
Yeah, absolutely. I know when I'm doing the very minimal research that I do when I'm looking at a trail, first source is straight to go to YouTube and actually plug it in and see firsthand what sort of footage is out there and see what the trail is. But yeah, other than that, you're reading off blog posts and photos, which they're very good, but I think just video adds a whole nother element to it.
So how do you plan out your adventures, and how much planning goes into taking the drone with you? There's, I guess, a lot of things you have to think about, like the battery charging, it's extra weight that you're carrying compared to someone just normally hiking. So how does that all, how does that fit into the planning?
Yeah, so for me, it's I barely even need to think about it. I don't go out on hikes without my camera gear. So to me, if I'm going out hiking, I'm going to be bringing my camera gear. But yeah, it definitely does add a bit of weight. I think all of my camera gear in total is 5.5 kilos. So yeah, it definitely adds a few kilos on. I don't know. I normally have just the standard batteries. So I've got 2 camera batteries that I usually take with me. One battery normally lasts me a full day, so I can usually get 3 days of filming out of that. I usually take a 20,000 milliamp power bank with me as well, so I can get a couple of phone chargers and maybe a extra charge on the main camera as well. Drone batteries, I try to be really, really conservative with. I know what shot I have in mind and what I want to get. And obviously, you probably only get about 20 minutes tops with a drone per battery. And I had 4, but I've lost one. So now I've only got 3 batteries. So yeah, you're looking at 60 minutes tops worth of flight time. And when you're doing something like the Cape to Cape, which I was fortunate because I stayed in an Airbnb and I could charge them. But yeah, you really have to choose which shots you're going to do and when to put the drone up.
I was looking at your recent Freycinet video, and you walked through one of the shots. I looked at your pack. I was like, where's all the camera gear? Like, that's smaller than my pack, and I barely fit everything that I needed.
Yeah, the Tasmania hikes, my pack has been very minimal because obviously I'm not lugging around a drone because they're so strict with the laws over there. So that's about 2.5 kilos saved in weight there, but yeah, obviously it does take a bit of space up in your backpack, but yeah, it's what I love doing. So yeah,
cool.
Awesome.
And with your 6 days off, it kind of, I suppose, it limits you to where you can go. Like, you can't do a 2-week adventure unless you take annual leave. So how do you select destinations to go to? And is it based on what you think might be popular for the YouTube channel, or is it more for pleasure?
It's definitely a mixture of both. I think they almost go hand in hand for me. Like, I wanted to go do the trails that look absolutely spectacular, and I think obviously YouTube is going to be a good platform to show those scenic locations off. So yeah, for me, they kind of really go hand in hand.
And kind of when you run out of like the super duper popular like wow trails, do you have any plans to do something that's a bit off kilter or a bit shorter?
That is something I'll think about down the track, but there's still a lot of trails that I still want to do, and I know that are out there. So I'll get to that stage, when it happens.
Yeah, because I mean, you're mainly doing WA and Tassie hikes, but I suppose you've got Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland.
Yeah.
If they eventually, or I suppose they've just opened up the border to New Zealand, so.
Yeah, that's a big reason why I haven't gone to those states yet, is obviously the question marks around whether getting back to Western Australia. So that's why I haven't gone to Victoria and New South Wales so much. But I'm hoping to potentially go to Queensland in a couple of weeks' time. So we'll see. Yeah.
There's a lot to do on the East Coast, so I think it'll be a long time before you run out of things to do.
Yeah, I was looking at doing the Thorsburn Trail, but that seems to be booked out like at least 6 months in advance. So
Yeah.
I was pretty bummed to find that out because that looks absolutely stunning.
So I've booked in for this year. I booked it literally a year in advance.
Oh, wow.
And we couldn't even get the dates that I wanted. We had to go with the second best dates.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe I'll have to do that then.
So, Mark and I really love the reflective and laid-back tone to your videos, and I feel like there's a real earnest and like real love in the video. Like, I really feel like you convey, a real actual respect for nature and love for it. How do you balance wanting to produce the style of videos that you do produce, and then also, there's always the lure of something that's a bit more clickbaity. How do you balance those things out?
Yeah, it's a very hard thing. Like, obviously, I want to get those clicks on my YouTube channel, and I think a lot of that has to do with creating a good thumbnail and a good title. But I think slowly, the YouTube algorithm and people are starting to realise that clickbait does not really get you anywhere. And I think it just takes time to build up that sort of audience. So if I just keep doing what I'm doing, even if it takes years and years, I think the audience will slowly grow. It's just a time thing. That's all I reckon it is.
Because I think that clickbait will get you like those viral one-off things, but it doesn't give you a sustained viewership.
Absolutely, yeah. I found that with my platypus video. I went from about 400 followers on my Instagram to 3,000 in like almost a week, and even when I post like a story or something, you'll see like 1,000 people have viewed it, and then I'll still only get the same response rate that I was getting with only 400 people. So I think it really is, if your video goes viral, it only brings so much to your channel.
Yeah, I think with across social media, just with algorithm changes and kind of a saturation, there's so much content out there. I think if you produce a good quality product, people will go and find you rather than wait for the content to come in.
Yeah.
So I know the YouTube channels that I follow, I do subscribe and then hit the notification bell. I know that's something that every channel says you should do, but for the ones I really enjoy, I think it's good to have that option.
Absolutely. I'm exactly the same when I jump on YouTube. It'll take me like a few videos of watching one channel before I even think about subscribing to that person. So I think if a creator can build up a whole backlog of videos, that's the largest part of getting someone to hit that subscribe button, you know. So I think, yeah, it all comes down to having that library of content there and ready for people to click.
Mm.
I guess we must congratulate you on monetizing your YouTube channel just recently.
Thank you. It's definitely not rolling in much money, but it was a big milestone for me. I think last month I earned $20, so that was huge.
It was a couple of Subway meals.
Yeah.
So what's been some of the highlights of your adventures, and do you have any like super duper favorite spots that you visited?
Yeah, so I've had a few highlights. Obviously, the thing that first got me into hiking was over in Europe. Switzerland absolutely blew my mind. Like, that literally just looks like something out of a movie. And then the same with Austria. But more home-based, I would say the Murchison Gorge walk. I really, really enjoyed that. The fact that it's so seemingly unknown and there's hardly any information about that. Me and my mate pretty much had that whole trail to ourselves, and yeah, that was really, really special. So I really enjoyed that. And then, yeah, I suppose the other highlight was actually seeing a platypus, because I'd never seen one of those in my life before. So yeah, that was a huge, huge highlight, and I really, really enjoyed doing the Walls of Jerusalem, pretty much just because of that reason.
Mm.
Yeah, certainly your face when you look at the camera, you're like, oh my God, I saw.
Yeah, well, when I first saw the platypus, I actually sort of caught it on camera, but I didn't get my facial expression on it. And it swam up and plonked itself right on top of a rock, maybe 3 or 4 meters away from me. And I kind of cursed a little bit loud, and I just like scuttered away. I was like, oh no, I've lost my opportunity. But it only swam a couple of meters away, so that's when I managed to get that video. So yeah.
Nice.
So, you know, with all the gear that you're carrying, is there anything that is your favorite that's like the secret weapon?
I have a real soft spot for my drone. I absolutely love that thing. Obviously, that's the thing that got me into videography and photography in the first place. So, yeah, I absolutely love the drone. I've got way too many of them at home. Some work, some do. But yeah, the drone, I think, just adds a whole nother aspect to videos. And I think just getting that really scenic kind of experience up in the air that you can't get otherwise just adds that whole another kind of experience for the viewer. And I know you're not the biggest fan of them, Donovan, but I really, really enjoy drones. Yeah.
It's more so that my reasons are two. One is that they can be bloody annoying, especially like in some places where, like, you know, it's really pristine and you just hear this.
Yes.
And then the other thing is sometimes I feel that the way it can be used, it doesn't represent what you actually see on the trail. Those are the reasons that I kind of don't always love them, but I do think that they make everything look great. Like, there's sometimes where I look at, you know, someone's filmed something with a drone in an area that I thought was not that special, and with the drone it looks awesome. You know, like, it really can sometimes heighten the experience.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. When I try to do my videos, I try to capture the ground footage as well as the aerial footage, so the viewer will get both sort of views of that. But yeah, with the drone making some noise, I personally am very self-conscious about that. I personally don't like drones hovering around and making noise when I'm doing like hikes and that. So yeah, I feel like I'm very self-conscious about that, and I try do my shot, get it up, and yeah, put it back down as quick as possible for that reason.
Cool. I think it's like the pro guys like you that they're always aware of that, where it's the amateur people who's like, oh, I've got some spare cash, I'll go buy a drone, and they're down at like Coogee and there's hundreds of people around and they're trying to fly their drone that give you a bad name.
Which I was like that at the start, I will admit.
Yeah. But I mean, I think you've done really well with, like, I really enjoyed your Tasmania videos. You said, like, you know, you can't bring the drone, but like you've made it, you know, really engaging without having that extra layer.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed the challenge, to be honest. Like, I thought, oh, it's a real bummer that I can't take my drone, but I think it's really challenged me to add that kind of perspective without having the drone, because I seem to rely on it so much for that epic sort of footage with the real nice music against the background. So yeah, I really thought that was a nice challenge to actually undertake, and yeah, it has actually given me like a second thought about taking my drone on some trips, but obviously if I can take the drone, I will take it.
Yeah.
I think it adds a nice like punctuation mark to a video, especially you said with the music rising and then you kind of see the nice scenery.
Yeah.
So with the YouTube channel and kind of your adventures, what are the plans for the future?
I'll be honest, I don't have too many plans. I'm just going to try keep on doing what I'm currently doing, and that is trying to punch out as much multi-day hikes that I can. The one main goal that I have for this year is I really want to do the Larapinta Trail. So if I can knock that out, I'll be absolutely wrapped. But in terms of long-term goals, the main thing that I have had stewing in the back of my mind, I'd actually love to create a book. So maybe in like 4 or 5 years, however long it takes me, once I've got a lot of multi-day hikes under my belt, would love to lay that all out in a book, just do like a 1 or 2 page spread, bit of a write-up and a couple of photos, but also add a QR code down the bottom. And then if someone wants like a more immersive experience, they can just whack their phone out, scan the code, and up will pop one of my videos. So yeah, that's a really long-term goal. Whether or not that happens, only time will tell, I guess.
Nice.
That's awesome. So recently, semi-related, but I played a board game that had a QR code in the book, and it felt really immersive to have that, like when you're reading the rules and suddenly this video pops up and you can watch that. Like, I think that's a really cool idea with books, to have that interactivity with the QR codes in there.
Yeah, I really think it just adds a whole nother experience for the user, So yeah, it's something I thought about and I would like to implement one day.
Yeah, awesome idea.
Nice. We'll have to have you back on when you're going, just before you're about to go on your book tour.
We'll see about that.
All right. Well, thanks very much, Josh, for coming on. We've been a big fan of your work for the past couple of years, and it's great to see kind of the hiking trails that we enjoy being given like a professional kind of experience. It's been fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, it's really been my pleasure. Obviously, I've found a lot of my hikes through you guys, so to actually be on the pod, it's really, really special, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode or any other episode of Real Trail Talk, then please rate us on whatever platform you're currently listening to us on. Ratings really help us to reach an audience, especially those who are looking to learn about the outdoors in Western Australia and Australia in general. If you had any questions or suggestions for future episodes, you can email us at realtrailtalk@gmail.com or contact us through our social media channels. Thanks again, and stay tuned for our next episode.